Hi folks, I hope you're well. So, this video, yes. The reality is, nobody can praise me. I don't want praise from anyone. The reason why I don't want praise from anyone is because the simple fact of the matter is, nobody except God knows what God has asked me to do. This is why, when they had their summer thing between the River Church and the Community Church of God, the Pentecostal Church, the man who's in charge of the Banff Church, the River Church, he was saying, well, no, you should bow down to your pastor, blah, blah, blah. And I was saying no. The reason why I was saying no is because of this point. If the pastor has done a good job, that pastor will get rewarded in heaven. Right? The whole idea that you should be kissing the arse of your pastor, that you should be giving a pat on the back telling them what a good job they've done every week. Excuse me, what? How ridiculous is that? That has to have come from America. It has to. That idea that pastors and teachers are so needy of praise, that had to come from the country where, yeah. I mean, I was standing outside earlier of the Community Church of God and talking to the person who normally talks to people. And he was saying that, yes, Americans generally are a lot more positive and stuff. I said, yeah, but most of it's fake. Most of their positivity is absolutely and totally fake. Yet they're loud, they're positive, but most of it is just put on. It's fake. It's because they're Americans. Because that's what they're expected to do. It's not because that's where they really are in their life right now. So no, pastors, no. No. Pastors, teachers, anyone. No. I'm not going to be in a position to praise human beings. Anyone, because I don't know what God has asked them to do. I can't say that they've done a good job. If God tells me they've done a good job, then okay. I'll tell them, yeah. I know that God is saying to me that you've done a good job. So well done. Unless that happens, no, I'm not going to be telling someone they've done a good job. No, I don't want anyone getting used to that or expecting me to do that, because then if you say to one person, you've got to say to the rest. No, I'm not going to play those games. And I'm certainly not going to say it to myself. Thinking that because again, do I know exactly what God has asked me to do? No, I've heard what I've heard. There may have been things that God has asked me to do that I've missed. Therefore, have I done a good job? Yeah. Now, I fed up to the back teeth of this worldly crap getting in. No. We've got to get back to an understanding that is an understanding of God and of his nature. All this point about desiring praise and desiring people to pat us on the back. For what? Even if I'm doing now what God has asked me to do, all those blinking years that I wasn't. Right? I'm not talking about the fact that I can make up for it, or if I work hard enough now, I can. No. I'm not talking about the fact I failed in the past. I'm saying, okay, that bloody time too. And that's the case with everyone. About blinking time or bloody time too. Because, come on, there's no time to waste. You know? Nah. That's why, to me, if I can get to that point of eating from the tree of life, and therefore have no death or decay, don't need to eat, don't need to sleep, all of that, then I can do more. I can get more done. Right? I can have a better, closer relationship with God, have a greater understanding of things, and I can be an example in that way, which would be great, lovely, brilliant, bring it on. But God's saying no, because God's saying, well, no, because if you're not ready, it ain't going to work, is it really? This is not like the things that, before you're ready to drive an expensive car, if you've got a rich family, they give you an expensive car because they don't really care if you crash it. No, this is God saying it won't work. If you can't eat from the tree, you can't eat from the tree. You can only eat when you're ready to eat. When those things that are getting in the way are out the way. Well, okay. So can I say I've done a good job when those things are still in the way? No. Can I say even when those things are out the way that I've done a good job? No. Because I can say, maybe, just maybe, I could have got here a bit quicker. So therefore, yeah. 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 I have no desire whatsoever for that sort of stuff, for pats on the back, because, I don't think it's possible to ever be a good enough example to get that. I really don't. If my job is to point to Father, and I'm doing that, and I'm only doing that, then I've done a good job. But I'm guessing I'm not going to be only doing that. I'm going to be doing more than what I should be. I'm going to be, trying to put my 10 pence in where maybe it's not needed sometimes. I'm going to try and be involved in things that maybe I shouldn't be. That may be the case. Okay. I don't know. But I know that's human nature, and so I know, And even if I am doing exactly only what I'm supposed to be doing, I won't have time to accept that I've been doing a good job, because there'd be so much work to do. And there will. So there is no avenue where that is necessary, where that is needed, where that is wanted or desired, or where that would be welcome. Because again, if people are saying that, you have to look at those people and say, why are you looking at me in that way? You should be looking to Father, and you should be understanding that if I got to where I got to here, then it's because of him. He's got me here. So therefore, if you're going to say that someone's done a good job, I'm pretty sure he did a good job. Right? When it comes down to it, yeah. Because again, if my job is to point to Father, my job is to point to the fact that he's done a good job. Yes? Yeah. I haven't got the time for all the rest of the rubbish. There's too much rubbish. And hopefully in the coming year I can deal with that and just don't react to it. React to it less and less and less and less and less and less and less. To focus on the things that matter, which is relationship with Father. For me, and for me to learn how to help others to receive that. Because that's it. It was all about that. That was it. At the moment, I'm not able to necessarily put into words how simple everything really is. So there I try, but I don't necessarily right now have the words. Hopefully I will have. But it is so incredibly simple. The truth, the absolute truth, is so incredibly simple. Of what God is doing now is bringing that. And so, yeah, let's see what happens. You take care. God bless.